Okay, guys, we're back for another little part on this initial vehicle intake. We did our contact card. We entered our vehicle information. Let me share our screen back over. Now we are going to hide my video panel, and we are going to get rid of the floating meeting controls. Okay. Um, Now we're going to finish with the extra part of actually starting an RO. There's two different ways we want to, just discuss the first way a little bit. If you're if you're at this point of entering a brand new car or brand new customer, brand new vehicle, um, at that point we're going to, we're on the car, we've saved the information. We want to be able to let's see what's the best way to say this. So we can just start a plain new work order right from here, right? We have many different drop down selections. We can, if we have these quick notes, again, these are going to be some things we've already gone over. You're a little bit more familiar with how we're starting to operate. We have our oils in there for quick. We have our testing jobs that we do quick, maybe AC service and alignment. Just a few things that are probably 9 out of 10 customers are going to be something's going to start off of this list. That's the easiest and quickest way to do it. If you don't really know exactly what you're looking for, you just start with quick ticket. Quick ticket just brings it up, and then you can search the vast library of jobs, the things that have been saved. You'll hear people refer to that as canned jobs, which means basic jobs and items that have already been built and priced out. And a lot of things we do are very repetitive in this business. But there, of course, are things you still have to build customized things for each and every car. But things like the oil change are repetitive. So what we're going to say here is, let's just say we're going to start our new work order, and this is going to be an oil change. We know the one thing they're going to do. They may be doing a couple other things, but we know that the one thing we're starting with is an oil change. So we click from our quick ticket that we're picking an oil change. We've got our customer in here. Remember that, our new customer. We've got their car in there. All that's good. We can verify, oh yeah, that's right. We did get that email address, or maybe we accidentally missed it. Hey, we better go back and fix that email address. We got everything listed in here. Now we can go to our next button. There's a few steps in here that we can get to a little further down the road. A lot of these items aren't necessarily needed to be used right away. Again, efficiency is the key. So we went to that page. We're going to just click right through a couple of these here. We're not going to worry about this page either at the moment. Now we come to this one. Whoever's the service advisor, every computer, when it's logged in, that's going to automatically put the service advisor. If there's for some reason you need to change it right then, you can. You can also change it later. But if, let's say, I'm putting a job in and I just know it's supposed to go to a different service advisor, I'm not going to end up being the person on the ticket. I can do my drop down and pick anybody that we got enabled in here. Our future rock star, it looks like, is who we're picking out right now. Um, let's see here. Now we know, if typically you don't really know what technician is usually going to go on it right away. So again, this is a spot that can also be picked later on. Can be, everything can obviously be changed as you go, but this would be something. In our case, we're at the Haines City store. At the Haines City store, we have somebody that changes oil, and that's their regular job. So we could put it on Edgar. If that's all they're coming in for is an oil change, we'd assign that to Edgar right now. But let's say they told us that they wanted an oil change and that they also wanted an alignment. So things are going to be on a couple different people. And maybe they even wanted some testing done. An oil change, an alignment, and they also needed to have a check engine light checked out. That's real simple. So at that point, what we're going to do is we'll have one in there. It's actually called the crew. We don't want to do none, because none can cause some other issues later on in the background when we're trying to price up jobs. The crew just assigns a flat rate, or a flat base, I should say, of a person. It's not really assigned to anybody, but it puts in the information needed so that as you're building jobs, building tickets, some things we'll learn later on. It just puts in things properly for the pricing structure. So we've picked our future rock star. This is the person getting ready to start working for us. That should be you, the person watching this video. And then we've picked our crew, our generic technician for right now. Now we click finish. All right, now it's going to give us some basics. Remember, we have all this information. Now if we wouldn't have had, if we were just putting in an oil change customer that called us over the phone, and as we spoke in that first video or the second video about vehicle entry, if we would have just had that generic tag, no tag, that letter G, and we didn't have the VIN, at that point, it's not going to necessarily give us all the capacities and all that information. That's going to be something but we wouldn't really be at that point. We may just put in a simple oil change job, but we wouldn't really be at the point where we're going into a deep ticket until that customer showed up and we've already updated that license plate information. So once we have here, we can just say okay because we know we picked that oil change. Now it's going to put in that the basics for us. We will get a little bit deeper in how do we source parts, how do we look up oil filters, how do we do all that. But this is just kind of a basic overview of us getting a ticket started, an RO started. We want to come over here and we got a few selections we want to make. Is this person going to be waiting? Is this person dropping off? Many different things that we can choose from. We want to use our flags. How was this appointment made? Was it made through our Shop Genie online or one of our other ways of making appointments? But this is good because let's say we know they need a shuttle. It's a customer needing a shuttle. So, or it was a tow in. So all these little flags give us insight onto what we already know, what we've already discussed with the customer. They told us it was okay if we keep the car overnight. Maybe maybe there was a little bit of something and we had to make this a priority customer because something maybe went wrong, or even just because they're just a VIP to us and we just know what's going on and they said, hey, I've got to get out of here by a certain time. And so, there's a reason why we make that pick a priority and get them going for that. So we want to use our flags, whatever they may be. Right now, we're just going to say that this one was a drop off, and as simple as that. We just took the phone over appointment over the phone or what have you. So we've got that flag taken care of. Now we've got our oil change on here that we talked about original. We talked about, now we're going to go up to add services, and we spoke about them needing to have a check engine light checked and an alignment. So we can type in, you can do the start typing it short and just hit enter and see if it pops up. Sometimes a few more letters might narrow it down. We get other things here. If we put the full word alignment in, just like most computer programs, it helps narrow it down the more you have, but you can just do a quick lookup with less information. We know this is going to be one of our alignments that's coming in. This is a Lexus regular sedan. We know what we got, a little bit of note here. We know that service runs $105. If we're trying to tell a customer on the fly, they're asking a price on an alignment, gives us a little bit of that info. So the other thing we always want to do as well as we build this is we want to have good ticket management. Um, Again, this will be something further talked about in a video down the road. But when you have multiple jobs going on a ticket, and you may have some different things that have been added at different points, you just want to go through your ticket and make sure it's in clean. And what we mean by clean is just that if you've got a job that goes with another job, have both of those jobs side by side, have them as condensed as possible. You don't want, say we're putting some struts on a car and you got struts at the very top, and then you got three or four other things going on in the middle, and we did a water pump and it got an oil change and maybe one other thing, and then down at the bottom is the alignment. If the alignment's on there to go with the struts, bring your jobs. You can move your jobs up and down, you can change their order, you can mix and match whatever you need to do, but try to keep your groupings together, the jobs that go together, so that one follows the other. When the customer starts looking at their receipt, when you're going over your receipt later on and explaining it to them, just that it makes sense. And again, we'll get into that a little bit deeper and all that. We'll have one on ticket management and how to clean up the ticket, later on. But let's see how. Now we talked about we needed to add testing. We're going to do a check engine light. That's what we consider a level 2. Again, these things will be explained as you're joining us. This is just how to build a ticket. But we're going to put level 2 on there. We're going to close that now. and then we're going to bring it up again, just a little bit of clean, keeping the ticket clean, because these are things that are already approved and going on. So we have our little approval box. It gives us some quick little highlights when it's at that point where we're sending out estimates, and then we send the DocuSign out. And if there's some initials, if we need to check in with the tech at some certain times, and then any special notes or comments are down here as well. So that box really just needs to stay at the bottom as we're building our ticket. Um, Now this is where we double click, we can highlight, we can change. It's a generic. We start with a level 2, which basically means the technician's going to get an hour of time, and it's just going to put a generic charge of $99 on there for the ticket. So, but at that point, this is where we double clicked, and now we change it to whatever may be the case. Check engine light, um, vehicle running well, turned on after getting fuel. We want to, again, we want to do our best when we're doing something like that. We don't want to go overboard with notes to where it's details that really just don't matter. Customer left from Publix and went to the grocery store, then they stopped at the bank, and then they stopped for getting gas. And when they stopped to get gas, that's when the check engine light came on. We don't need the Publix and the bank, and we don't need all that. What we need to know is the vehicle was running well, and when they turned it on after getting gas, a check engine light came on. So keep it simple to the point, but the information needed so the tech has an idea where to go. So anyway, that's simple. That's just showing you kind of the beginnings of how to filter in, start an RO, a couple of these points on making a ticket, making a job. And like I said, we're going to have some good videos coming up that'll get more into placement of different things, how to build bigger jobs, how to get into some of those other facets. And we'll have one on cleaning up a ticket as well. So anyway, thanks for putting up with me and joining me on these. And we will see you on the next set. Thank you very much.